Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Real Estate Fitness, where we keep that real estate muscle strong. Today, we are going to be talking about the buyer cheat sheet. Now, this is exclusive to Team EvoAZ, guys. We created this, and I love it so much because it really helps our buyers understand the process, especially if they are first-time home buyers or they've never purchased in Arizona, because it is different in other states. So when you first start working with Team EvoAZ, maybe even before, you will get your hands on what we call our cheat sheet. And I'm going to share my screen here just so that I can go over it with you. Also, the link is in the show notes for the cheat sheet. So if you don't have a copy and you would like a copy, then just head on down and scroll down for that link and click it, and you will be in business. So this is what the home buyer cheat sheet looks like. And we go over several of the main points in the transaction, what you can expect to come up. And the first main sort of point in the transaction is the initial, the initial period. So that would be preparing to buy and offer. And what do we do for preparing to buy and making an offer? Well, we're going to chat with a mortgage lender. We're going to go over loan programs. We're going to get a pre-qualification or a plan to improve credit if needed, because we do have that ability. If there are a few things, few hoops that you can jump through, a few things that you can do to make your situation better so that you get a loan that is, more of a win for you, or, a lower interest rate, or whatever the case may be, or helps you to qualify altogether, then we're going to help you through that. A lender will tell you what documents you need to gather, and we have a couple of videos on those things. So definitely check out the show notes, because I've got some other links down there for you that will talk a bit further about that particular piece with the lender. Then you want to meet with your realtor. So that would be one of us here at Team EvoAZ, and you'll go over your wants and needs, bedrooms, baths, size, age, acreage or not, pool, all of that kind of thing. We'll also talk about budget and location preferences. And be sure during this time to communicate with us. Be sure to tell us any and everything. Oftentimes a buyer will say, well, I know I can't get this, but what I'd really like, and then they are surprised that they may have the opportunity to get it, and they didn't think that they did. So definitely bring it up to us so that way we can advise and we can set the appropriate expectation. The next point in the process is being under contract. So what happens when your offer is accepted? You've got your earnest money deposit, which needs to be dropped off, or it can be wired to the title company. We will help you with that. This can be applied toward the down payment or closing costs, just kind of depends on the situation. And it's refundable under certain circumstances. So you're going to want to talk with your agent about those circumstances so that you know full well how your money is to be used, and if it's refundable or not, and what those circumstances are. The inspection period is typically 10 days here in Arizona. So you have 10 days to conduct all desired inspections. And we're going to help make some suggestions on that too. So it's not just a general inspector in many cases that is going to do it. Oftentimes we will want to send a roofer out there, or maybe, AC tech, or maybe a pool person, just to give us a little bit more in-depth information on those particular areas that they have expertise in. So we'll guide you through that. Also, the appraisal, really, really important to talk about the appraisal. The mortgage lender, and again, if you're buying cash, then all this mortgage stuff doesn't matter, but the lender will order the appraisal. And what that is for is to verify that the home meets the contract value. Now, we'll have had a discussion about this already, and we'll have done our research, and we'll have talked about it. So, we should be, in most cases, in line with the appraised value here. But there are some cases when we might not be, whether that be market conditions, or whether the buyer, maybe depending on the market conditions, had to get a little bit more aggressive with that particular piece in the contract. So this is a very important point, because it's grounds for renegotiation, could be, and especially if the appraisal comes back in below the contract price. So really important piece there. The next point in the process is preparing for closing. We'll want to make sure, and this is our job, we want to make sure that title and mortgage have everything that they need in order to finalize things on their end, in order to create the final documents, and create that final signing appointment for the buyers and sellers. We'll be shopping for homeowners insurance likely during this time or perhaps slightly before. We'll want to review the title report and homeowners association documents before closing and typically within the inspection period. But we do obtain those documents from the title company. While we're preparing for closing, we're going to want to start talking about utilities and movers. So we need to schedule utilities to transfer. We need to schedule movers or a moving truck, or maybe you have a piano and you need, or a big safe and you need to have a particular mover that has expertise in that. We're going to want to get that all organized and ready to go before closing so that it's not so stressful and you're not scrambling on closing day to get all of those things done. If it's applicable and you need to register for a new school, now is probably the time to get that done. The next point is we'll be in our final stretch. And in our final stretch, we're going to want to verify final costs with the lender. We're going to want to perform a final walkthrough, which here at Team EvoAZ, we always do our final walkthroughs and we do them with our buyer to verify repairs and the condition of the home. We're going to be signing documents either with the title company or with a mobile notary at our home or at a restaurant or place of business. And then once all of that, so I'm skipping a bunch of stuff, right? So this is kind of the basics. But once all of that is said and done and we're recorded with the county, then what we'll do is we'll get you the keys, and that property is now yours. So that's just a little bit of the process, just kind of a synopsis. And we have this handy dandy little buyer cheat sheet to help with that. There are also the second page of the buyer's cheat sheet are the costs to plan for when buying a home. So you're going to want to plan for some things, right? So upfront, you're going to want to make sure that you discuss whatever down payment is required for your loan program with your lender, because that's something that's going to be due at closing. You'll want to determine if you need closing cost assistance paid by the seller or perhaps a rate buy down, which is really popular right now here. At the time that this video was recorded, it's November 2023, and the interest rates are a little bit higher than they have been in a while right now. And so rate buy downs are really popular. So that's something that we'll have, that's a conversation that we will have. Cost to plan for while you're under contract. You've got your home inspection. The cost will vary depending on the size and features. You're probably looking at approximately $350 to $550. And then there could be some additional charges for any additional inspections, which might be, AC, roof, pool, mold. I have people that get scorpion inspections. Yes, we have a company that does that. So look me up if that's something that's important to you. It's often brought up, and it's very important to families, especially families with little kiddos. This is when you'll get your good faith deposit, this is when you'll place your good faith deposit for the appraisal. Some lenders will actually credit that fee back to you at the end. That does happen. I have seen that. But oftentimes you will need to pay for that appraisal up front. And that's probably going to be about $500 or so. So you're going to want to make sure that you have that available. But again, some lenders will offer appraisal coupons or will refund that. So definitely ask us about that if that's something that you're interested in. As far as closing and cost to prepare for closing day, again, with your down payment, you're going to want to make sure that that's available, and whatever closing costs that you may need to come to the table with. Typically that needs to be in certified funds. Okay. And usually we see that in form of a certified check or a wire. You have to know about wires, guys. There's a lot of wire fraud happening out there right now. And so it's really important that you talk with us before you do any wiring at all. Make sure that you are consulting with us so that we can help protect you from the fraud that is happening out there. People are losing tens of hundreds of thousands of dollars in wire fraud. So make sure that you are not one of them. Also, what you'll need to be prepared for is any utility turn-ons that might require a deposit. Some cities do, or depending on your situation, they may. And then also prepare for movers and or moving truck. I always say prepare for dinner that night too. because if you're moving all day long, the last thing you're going to want to do is try to find your pots and pans to make dinner. So prepare for pizza or something like that, something easy, something quick, because you know that it's going to be, you'll be scrambling that day. I mean, we've all moved before, so we know what moving day is like. Anyway, I hope that that helps. Again, in the show notes, you're going to find a lot of links that is going to give you a little bit more in-depth information in what I went over briefly here, and also the link for the home buyer cheat sheet itself. Hop on over to our YouTube channel and you can get so much more information over there, guys. We have a monthly market update where we talk about hyperlocal statistics here that pertain to housing in the greater Phoenix area. We talk about the market conditions. We have predictions. We talk about interest rates, all of that kind of stuff. And that's on a monthly basis. Over on YouTube, at Team EvoAZ is our handle, or you can do a quick search on your favorite podcast platform for Arizona Real Estate Radio, and you can tune in to all of our shows that way too. Thanks so much, guys. We'll see you next time.